It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are and who they're with? Now, the 10 o'clock news.
Right now, Ernesto making its stormy presence felt in South Florida. We'll go there live.
Ernesto, not particularly strong, but very big. It's going to impact our forecast. I'll have the details.
You prepare, they prepare. But in one local community, neighbors are joining forces to face tropical weather together.
A political casualty of Ernesto, a debate delayed. Learning from past storms as Ernesto approaches, the 10 o'clock news starts right now.
Live from the local station, this is the 10 o'clock news.
Hello, everyone. Tropical storm Ernesto sloshed rather than slammed ashore.
The weakening storm has surprised forecasters, but they still warn it could be a wet storm for some people. Ernesto is our big story, first at 10 o'clock. Supplies flew off the shelves as residents stocked up in South Florida today. Homeowners boarded up, preparing for the worst just in case. Ernesto, however, is a little more than a rainmaker, reaching top sustained winds of just 45 miles per hour. National Hurricane Center Director Max Mayfield says he's happily surprised by the storm's weakness. Right now, we have live Eye on the Storm team coverage. Jennifer's Jennifer Bauer is live in Melbourne. Scott Johnson has the latest as a Nassau County community takes a unique approach to storm preparation. And Victoria Warren will join us with Operation Reality Check here in Jacksonville. We begin with the Weather Authority senior meteorologist John Gahn. Our team coverage continues right now. Tonight, a Nassau County community is not taking chances. They're taking care of each other. Organizers have a complete list of supplies in every household, and they're ready to help whomever needs it. Jennifer, Scott Johnson is live with more. Scott?
Tom, say you're sitting in your house, a storm passes through, and then once it's gone, you walk outside and realize you're stranded. You don't have any emergency services that can even get to you. Well, one Nassau County neighborhood decided to make sure that never happens to them. Looking at all the food, the spare generators, and the map that shows which houses have what supplies, you can probably see this neighborhood is prepared for any storm.
I was like, might as well do something before it happens. So this was established actually way before Katrina.
After the 2004 hurricane season, these three Fernandina men decided they didn't want to rely on local emergency crews anymore. So they put together a very detailed hurricane plan for their Oceanside neighborhood.
We got about 35% of the full-time residents to come here initially, and then word of mouth after the first briefing that we gave, in which we discussed what could happen here, got people interested.
Neighbors tell me A1A here is their only escape route, and to the north they say there's a bridge that shuts down with winds that are anywhere over 40 miles an hour, and then they say to the south there's another bridge that shuts down at the first sign of a storm, so they could easily be stranded.
It is very likely, if the worst happened, that there will be no access in and out of the neighborhood.
It's being prepared, and we know what happened with people who weren't prepared in New Orleans.
And this neighborhood has a website with all their plans on it, how they're laid out, how they are going to handle things in case of an emergency. The website is www.nerag.com, nerag.com. If you want to set up a neighborhood plan for yourself, this might be a good place to find out how to do it. Now we're going to head down to the Landing, where Victoria Warren is standing by live with some details on some changes you've seen around town called Operation Reality Check. Victoria?
That's right, Scott. You know, the best planning always starts at home, but the city has learned some lessons from some past storms. So as a result of some of those lessons, these colorful poles around town, they're part of something called Operation Reality Check. It was started about a year ago after the really bad storms that came through Jacksonville 2 years ago. These colorful poles, they show you how high the storm surge would go depending on the category of the storm. Here at the Landing, worst case scenario, category 5, the storm surge would be a little bit more than 5 feet. That's I'm 5'6", so it's almost as tall as I am. This is just one of the newer things you'll notice as Ernesto approaches. The beauty of Jacksonville could be its biggest threat. And as Ernesto approaches, the city wants you to look around and take notice.
It's a pretty dramatic reminder.
These poles are throughout the city, part of Operation Reality Check.
It just gives you a good idea of how high the water could rise in the event that a hurricane hits Jacksonville.
How about this for a reality check? Here at Sisters Creek, just off Heckscher Drive, a Category 3, the water would be well above my head. And if this area ever got hit with a Category 5,
The water would be as tall as those palm trees. And on our roadways, a simple change that could make a big difference: painted numbers to indicate exits.
They're painted in thick white paint that is storm resistant.
The idea, if winds blow down road signs, emergency crews that may come in from out of town could still find their way around.
There'd be helicopters or planes in the air that can see where the exits are and use communications appropriately for ground transportation. In a rescue operation, time is critical.
Now, these colorful poles, 41 of them are throughout the city. This one, again, about 5 feet tall. Some of the poles throughout other parts of the city go as high as 16 feet into the air. So in those worst case scenarios, a Category 5 storm coming through, the storm surge in those areas could reach 16 feet. Now, on the Department of Transportation side of things, with those painted numbers, they are on all of the interstates in Jacksonville: I-95, I-295, I-10, and also on parts of 9A. They said the reason it's on 9A is eventually, when all the construction's finished, 9A will become part of I-295. Live from downtown, Victoria Warren, Channel 4, the local station.